We see all the pro golfers hit their irons pure time and time again, and I can imagine you believe that the pros are able to do this from staying over the golf ball and keeping their head down. But when you try this, you always find you can't stop jumping out the way and end up topping the ball instead. And the shocking truth is that this is stopping you from hitting your irons pure. Now don't get me wrong, every tour player is able to maintain their posture tilt that they set up from the address position throughout their golf swings. But when you have a look on the screen here, here's the difference between amateurs and professionals. When you have a look at the amateur stance here at impact, their sternum and chest is pointing at the golf ball at the moment of impact. And when you have a look at the one on the left-hand side of the screen here, the pros, you can see that the sternum is facing way more towards the target and their hips are rotated open. So to strike those irons of yours pure, yes, we want to get those hands, of course, ahead of the club face at impact to help with that ball, then turf interaction, the compression we see the pros do. However, if you are unable to continue rotating through the ball and at the moment of impact, we're going to react, and that's when those disaster strikes take place. So stand up with me now and get ready to go through a 3-step drill that's going to have you striking the golf ball miles better. So step number 1 is all to do with getting the tilt and the rotation in the swing in the first place. What we'll notice is that as amateurs make their backswing, usually they'll get their shoulders quite lateral in the top of the swing, and then they'll tend to bring them back down. So it's really important, as I mentioned earlier about the pros, being able to maintain this spinal tilt that we have at address throughout the golf swing, because that's going to make it so much easier to get that rotation, continue the rotation through impact. So I'm going to ask you to take the club away. You don't need a club for this first one. You're standing up already, which is great, and I want you to take your hands and place them either side of your thighs. You may have noticed I've done this drill quite a few times on at the channel, but it's a superb drill that's going to really help you encourage the rotation as well as the tilting motion in your golf swing. So we've got the hands either side. We're taking our feet ever so slightly wider than shoulder width apart. And what you're going to do to begin with is just allow yourself to stand up tall just for the moment and just allow yourself to rock your hands back and forth. So one of your hands is going towards the knee, one of your hands is going towards the hip. This is how we produce the tilting motion in our swings. Then moving on to the next bit where we tilt over into our posture. So for me here, I'm just feeling like someone has got hold of my belly button and they're pushing me back like so. So my chest is a bit more over the golf ball. So when the chest is over the golf ball, we're set up in our posture without the club, of course. If we do this same movement, but on the backswing, we apply this right hip to move away from the golf ball. So we're getting the right hip to shift backwards, almost towards the mirror behind me here. I can start to feel a lot of pressure move and transfer onto my trail side. That's giving me great feedback to understand what that should feel like to get that rotation. And you can see here, as I'm developing this rotation, I'm also allowing my trail hand to go towards the hip and my lead hand to go towards the knee. So it's a combination of getting this tilt, allowing this tilt to take place from the spine and the shoulders, but then adding the rotation in of the hips. So then the downswing, what we've got to encourage from this point here is for this left hip now to work away from the golf ball. Don't let it shift towards the target because that's going to cause the low point to go behind the golf ball. What we want to see instead is this hip rotating round and away from the golf ball. So you can see there, I'm making sure that I'm keeping my posture tilt throughout the swing, but I'm really opening up my left side here. I'm opening up my lead side. My lead hand is going towards the lead hip. My right hand, so trail hand, is going towards the right knee. And that's just giving me a great sensation to really get this rotation, but the shoulder tilt to take place. If you're enjoying the content so far, then why not click that subscribe button below, as I'll be posting videos just like this every single week to help you further improve your game. It's completely free to do, and it helps me grow the channel and produce more content just like this one. So that there was stage 1, how the body should be working, rotating and tilting in the swing. Stage 2, I've got an alignment stick in between my stance here. I've got my club, I'm going to place this on my shoulders with the butt end of the club on my lead shoulder like this here. And what this is going to allow me to do is just get the sensation of, okay, well, as I'm rotating into the backswing, ensuring I get the tilt, butt end of the club's going to point more towards the golf ball. I've also got the rotation, but this alignment stick on the ground just gives me great feedback just to make sure I don't shift off the golf ball. So instead, I want you to take the club across the shoulders like this and just allow that rotation and tilt and see if you can get your sternum. The sternum is going to move a touch off the golf ball, but it only should be relatively a couple of inches behind. And then on the downswing, same movement, just ensuring that sternum stays over the golf ball. Yet we do want to see that slight little shift forward in the body and then moving forward all the way through, but you will get enough shift just from rotating the hips round. Bonus tip for this stage 2, up to the top of the swing, and I want you to squat down a little bit. When we're squatting down a little bit, that's just going to help you initiate the downswing move starting from that lower body, and that's going to really help you get the club working on a shallower plane, which you'll see later on in stage 3, to get those pure strikes. Ball and turf interaction, but those shallow divots we see the pros do. So rather than trying to stay down, we're getting you to rotate round and pushing upwards from the ground. And this brings us into stage 3. If you believe you should be scoring better on the course, this ebook is the one for you. A simple, effective, easy to read guide designed to give you everything you need to manage your way around a golf course. To download this, check out the link in the description after the video. Stage 3, I've got the alignment stick still in the middle of my feet just to give me some feedback visually just when I'm practicing this move. I've got the club in my hands now, and all I'm going to do just to begin with is just practice this movement very, very slowly. We've not mentioned anything about club positions just yet, and the only thing I'm going to mention is this. When we react in the downswing, when we react in the golf swing, we're always doing it for a reason. So what we notice when we get to the top of our swing, for amateur golfers, we get low. So what do we do in reaction? We jump out the way and we drag our hands close to the body, which I didn't mention before. We drag the hands close, and look what happens here. Arms get a bit disconnected from the body, my hands get too close, my arms are also very flexed. And the bottom of the swing, to make sure we get the bottom of the swing past the golf ball, so we get the ball then turf afterwards, we've got to allow for this nice wide backswing, but also to maintain this all the way through to finish. So taking the club away again, just for this last point, we're going to take our hands and place them down like so, with the palms facing towards the ground. And I want you to push and add a little bit of tension on your arms, and you should be able to feel a lot of pressure. So once you get this pressure, maintain the pressure. We're getting this tilt and we're rotating up and we're squatting down. Then maintaining the pressure, pushing up from the ground all the way through to finish. As the body works upwards, due to gravitational force, the club needs to be pushed down. We want the opposite reaction. Think of it as like when we throw a ball or a stone. The body works and the arm works in opposite directions. So the body will rotate through and to the left as the arm actually moves to the right. And that's where we get most of the power, most consistency from throwing a ball or stone. So when we take the club and try this, what I don't want you worrying about is topping the golf ball from pushing upwards. Pushing upwards is only going to help you promote a wider arc and get much better compression onto the golf ball. So practicing this in stages, working our way up to the very top of our swing, pressing down, trying to keep it wide on the way back, and then we're pushing upwards, pushing the hands down all the way through to the finish. So this is how the body should be working in the golf swing to help you strike your irons pure. The truth to this, if we try and stay over the golf ball, we're actually going to end up topping the ball. We've got to allow the body to rotate out the way to let those hands come down in to the golf ball. So hitting the shot then, very, very slowly, working our way up to the top, pressing down and pushing up and through. That was really, really pure. And taking a look at the launch angle of 15.6, that is very, very low for an 8 iron. So that's going to make a huge difference to getting those hands staying ahead of the club for longer. There is something else that you can do to help maintain that wrist angle we've just mentioned at impact. And this is by using the Precision Impact Training Aid. This almost looks like a claw, I know. It's a fantastic training aid that you put onto your wrist and fingers that allows you to click your wrist into place and you can't get out of that position unless you let it go, which isn't going to happen when you make a golf swing. So the idea with this is when you're making those wide back swings and getting that turn, you heard all the clicks from the top, then from there we're maintaining that through impact. I can't get my hand out of that position. I've got to keep them this far ahead. And with me swinging much faster, a launch angle there of under 20 with an 8-iron is very, very good. So 17.1, really, really pleased with that. Once you get used to it being on your hand, it becomes very easy to make a swing and trust that it's setting your wrists in the right position.
This video has been brought to you today by GX Golf, who provide high quality golf gloves at a fraction of the price in comparison to their competitors out on the market. Using my discount code Harry10 you can get yourself a great 10% off on their bundled packages of 3, 6 or 9 golf gloves. The links will be in the description below.
Speaking of wrist setting, here's a video right here that will talk you through how you should be setting the wrists in the downswing. A great move that you can do, that you should be doing, to ensure the club face stays square in the downswing. We've spoken today about improving the ball striking. This one here is going to help you with squaring things up with that club face. Take a look at the link in the description below regarding more about this product, and click this video if you'd like to see how you can control the club face. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you over there.